Let's go ahead and get this out of the way up front. Real estate market statistics are boring. Not for me, but probably for you. But here's the thing. Buying or selling a property in Jupiter, it's a big deal. If you don't suck up this boring, you could end up costing yourself a lot of money or trusting an agent that you probably shouldn't. My name is Casey Prindle. I live in Jupiter and I've been a full-time realtor in South Florida here going on the last 15 years. But this video is not going to be about me. This video is going to be about you arming yourself with the best data that you can so you can make the most informed decision, whether you're considering buying a home in Jupiter or selling a home in Jupiter. I help busy people solve real estate problems. That's my value, whether you're considering buying a home or selling a home. If you find any value in this data, please consider subscribing to my channel. That way you'll be notified when I post new content. If there's something you'd like me to do a video on that I haven't yet, please feel free to comment below, or of course just call, text, or email me. So I received an email from one of you guys that got me thinking about how I shouldn't lump all the data into one video where I had single family homes and condos in the same video, but rather do two videos, one just for single family homes, one just for condos and townhomes. And I think that makes sense. You know, the markets are separate and distinct, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do going forward. Though the intros will be the same on both videos because I don't have time to film two different intros. All right, let's start with townhome and condo sales in Jupiter. We're gonna look at the period of April 1 to April 30th of 2024. Sales data is taken from closed MLS sales during that period. Stick around to the end of the video. I'm going to break down the sales in a way that I don't think any other agent's going to show them to you, and that's by price bracket, but I find it incredibly relevant. Median sales. Looks like we're leveling off a little bit here. Still on the high side at $577,000. There's no real way of getting around it. Jupiter's just an expensive marketplace. You can pick and choose your spots, but still $577,000, it's a pretty big number. Number of properties sold. What I do like to pay a lot of attention to is the number of sales that are actually taking place, right? Look at this, up 27% month over month. Let's take a look here since January. There were 39 sales in January. We now have 89 sales. So just a casual 128% increase. It's wild, right? So year over year from 57 sales to 89 sales, 56% increase. So again, look, all those national headlines that are saying Florida housing market is in a free fall or whatever the other nonsense is, it's just not true in Jupiter, right? If you look at this chart, we're pulling well off the lows and heading into the busy season here. And it's just like a hockey stick growth chart. List to sales ratio. List to prices kind of heading down, or if nothing else, leveling. At least in my experience and observation, I think sellers are getting the message that we're past all these, COVID market times where you can just ask whatever you want. The tighter the spread gets, the less the negotiation and the better pricing that occurs from the start, the lower spread that you see. So look, I'm still curious to see how this kind of plays out. You can see over time we're kind of on a lower end of the chart. So of course, if you're a seller, you want a lower spread. Or a tighter spread, excuse me. If you're a buyer, you want it to remain down here because it means that you've got some room to negotiate. On the whole, not on every property, but let's keep an eye on this one anyways. Median days on market, we're down to 40 days. Again, looks like we're leveling off here. Another slide that I think is better for sellers and worse for buyers in terms of negotiation strategy. If properties aren't sitting too long, it creates less opportunities for buyers. They have to make faster decisions. They can't negotiate as much. The longer that properties sit and the higher that we get on this chart, the better it's going to be for buyers. The lower that it gets, the better it's going to be for sellers, right? Median price per square foot. Median price per square foot is sitting at $392. Look, as always, I'm going to kind of breeze over this with my usual footnote. The good stuff is still selling. Junky old beat up stuff, not selling as much. You can just kind of see, the trend is upward. But a lot of that I just think gets reflected in people are willing to pay for the nicer stuff. So, Don't put a ton of stock in it, but that's what I got there. Total sales dollar volume. So, you knew when you saw increased sales, the total volume was likely going to follow, right? The only way we wouldn't see a big increase here is if more sales have been taking place in the low dollar range. We'll get into the data there, but that's, while happening, it's just not happening as much as it used to. So from just shy of 27 million in volume in February down here, up to just shy of 59 million up here. It's just a ridiculous move, right? So we're quickly approaching the 2022, right around here. Look at, we're quickly approaching those volume levels, and that was during some crazy time. So get your popcorn ready, and buyers, if you've been on the fence, this may be the sign that you might want to get off of it, right? Speaking of buyers, if you're a buyer just waiting for more supply to arrive, I'm here to burst your bubble. Here we go with what the actual issue is in our housing market, which is just not enough inventory. Real estate's not a tough equation. It comes down to supply and demand, and we simply don't have enough stuff for sale. Can't build a whole lot of new condos and townhomes due to geographic constraints. Same applies to single family homes as applies to this, right? We got oceans and Everglades, and we just don't have a whole lot of room where we can quickly build out, especially in Jupiter, where you bump up against zoning that just doesn't allow for it. It doesn't allow for that kind of density. So there's no crystal ball. But if you're a buyer and looking at this, we've clearly come off the lows, right? We kind of made it back up, started favoring buyers. It looks like we're coming back down. Now, if this continues to fall, buyers, this is kind of your last breath to throw in some lower offers and have a decent chance at negotiation, in my opinion. All right, let's move over to the bracketed sales data here. Take a look at this. $1 million and above, 12 sales. $750,000 to $999,000, 7 sales. $500,000 to $749,000, 34 sales. $499,000 and below, 36 sales. 79% of sales are $749,000 and below. Let me say that to you again. Look at these numbers. 79% of condo and townhome sales are $749,000 and below. If you're thinking of pricing at $765,000, do you think that's the best idea? Or do you think that buyers are likely just putting their searches in and they're capping out at $750,000? Because that's when you look at the search portals, and when somebody says something to me, people speak in round numbers. Show me 700,000 below. Show me 750,000 and below. Show me 800,000 below. Right now, that bracket from 750 to 800, look at that drop off. It's enormous. So it's got to be part of your pricing strategy. Buyers, kind of the same thing, So look, 14% of sales are above $1 million. That's a pretty healthy number there. What can't be lost on anybody, buyers and sellers, the most competitive market for buyers and the best market for sellers remains under $499,000, right? Look at it. Now, that being said, it's running almost neck and neck with sales between $570,000 and $749,000. So if you're in either bracket as a buyer, the market's going to feel tighter than a buyer looking above $750,000. So that is to say, understand what bracket you're in, use it to your advantage, and know it when you're making offers, as the market's going to feel really different across price brackets. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching this month. Consider subscribing to the channel so I can keep you updated when I do new postings. If there's a specific topic you guys want me to do something about, call, text, or email me. You can even throw it in the comments down below here. Of course, if you just want to talk about real estate and you want to grab a coffee or a cocktail, I am always game for that. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.